Hello students, this session will discuss regarding meaning, nature, definitions and kinds of liberty and meaning of equality, its definition and its different types. So coming to the concept, political concept, that is liberty. The term liberty has been derived from the Latin word liber. It means freedom. Thus, it means freedom of a person to do whatever he likes without any restraint. There are two aspects of liberty. So, the term liberty denotes to do anything without any restriction. So, whereas in case of the positive aspect, the concept developed during the latter of 19th century, it has been developed in 19th century. Everyone is entitled to equal opportunities to develop their personality. According to positive aspect of liberty, it stands for providing equal opportunities to all the individuals without making any differentiation. Every individual has similar kind of liberty. That means every individual is having the freedom, and no one should harm or injure anyone's freedom. That means freedom, liberty means the freedom. Every individual has similar kind of liberty, and no one should harm or injure anyone's freedom. Hence, liberty of an individual must correspond with social welfare. So, the concept of the liberty implies social welfare. It emphasizes that liberty can exist only when the state maintains those conditions with which the citizens can raise to full potential of his personality. This view was supported by the humanistic socialists and Marxists like Kant, Hegel, T.H. Green, Barker, and Harold Lasky. So these all are the political thinkers accepted the positive view relating to the concept of the liberty. So this positive concept of liberty stands for providing equal liberty to all the individual towards their development of the personality as well as development of the state organization. Then the negative aspect of the liberty stands for individual has freedom to do whatever he likes. It also implies the freedom to do anything. It treats liberty as a claim of the individual in the state. It vests the supreme power in the hands of the individual. They are having the right to claim the liberty. The state should not impose any restraints on the actions of the individual. This is called an negative liberty. So, whereas in case of the negative liberty, the state is having no right to impose any restrictions on individual liberty, freedom, because they are having the full freedom to exercise whatever they likes. Every man is free to do what he likes. Everyone is free to do what he likes, provided he does not interfere in other freedom. It implies that in spite of the liberty the person is entitled to possess, but it does not mean that to harm or to interfere any other person's life. So this view is supported by Thomas Hobbes, John Locke, then Adam Smith, Bentham, J.S. Mill. All these are the followers of negative aspect of liberty. So both aspects of the liberty stands for one followed by restrictions, another one not followed by any restrictions. Then apart from discussing the various concepts relating to the positive as well as the negative concept, coming to the definition cited by the different thinker, it is nothing but it is a positive power of doing and enjoying those things which are worthy of enjoyment and work. So liberty is the opposite of over government. Liberty is the freedom of an individual to express without external hindrance to personality. So, liberty means to express whatever they are having the opinion relating to any of the matter without the state interference. So, according to the Universal Declaration of the Human Rights, they also laid down the concept of the liberty. According to Universal Declaration of Human Right, the concept of the liberty stands. Liberty is the power. It is the power of a man to do anything that does not injure others. So liberty stands for doing anything according to their own whims and fancies, but it is followed by not to injure any person. It means that while exercising the liberty, we must take into consideration our action should not affect or bring any harm to the other person. So the liberty should exercise within the restriction, within the limitation, not doing any harm to the other person. So on the basis of the above definition, we can summarize, we can find the characteristic features of the liberty. Liberty implies the presence of certain conditions which are essential for the development of individual personality. So the liberty, without the liberty, the individual can't develop their own personality. So it is very essential condition for the development of individual personality. Apart from that, the may it guaranteed to all without any distinction. The concept of the liberty granted to all the individual without making any discrimination on any ground like color, creed, status in society. All are entitled to exercise the liberty. Then when there is an opportunity to enjoy rights, liberty compels citizens to perform their duties. So here both rights, both liberty and duties are correlated with each other. So I am having the liberty to live in a society. Other person is also having the right to live in a society. While exercising the liberty, I am under the obligation not to do any harm. My action should not bring any harm to the other person. It implies that the liberty followed by limitations, restriction in the form of casting the duties. So this way the liberty and duties correlated with each other. Liberty and law are closely related, and law promotes the enjoyment of liberty by all. So both liberty as well as set of rules and regulations are correlated with each other. Both are having the aim to promote the enjoyment of the liberty by all. Then liberty is against the authoritarian. So whereas in case of the authoritarian form of the government, the people are not possessing any kind of the liberty. So the entire activity is controlled by the government. So that way here it opposes the concept of the liberty, opposes the authoritarian form of the government as well as the dictatorial form of the government as well as the autocratic government. So because whereas in case of the authoritarian, dictatorial as well as the autocratic government, so here the people are having no right to exercise the liberty, but entire social life controlled by the government. The state controls, regulates the each and every actions of the individual. So those form of the government not pave the way for exercising any kind of the liberty. So for that purpose the concept of the liberty not exist in such forms of the government. Then after discussing the various concepts relating to the liberty, now we'll come to know regarding the different kinds of liberty. So the term liberty classified into natural liberty, civil liberty, economic liberty, political liberty and national liberty. So these are the 5 types of liberties. Coming to the first one, natural liberty. So man in the state of nature was completely free. So natural liberty means nature has gifted the property to liberty to all the individual, that in pre-civil society there were no restraint on his actions and the behavior. So as well as the before the existence of the state, the people are enjoying all the liberty without any restriction, without any limitation. As a result, there was no peace and the harmony in society. So if we go back to the primitive stage of the origin of the state, we come to the conclusion that in case of the primitive state, the people are having their own way of lifestyle. So that time the concept of the peace was not existed. So no peace and the harmony in society. It was full of confusion and chaos. To control such unrestrained behavior of man and to bring peace, gradually state come into existence. So here the natural liberty was existed in pre-civil society. That means before the existence of the state, origin of the state, the concept of the natural liberty was existed. But in course of time, they felt that it is very difficult to control the behavior of the individual. So for that purpose, they incorporated the concept of the origin of the state by incorporation of set of rules and regulations towards controlling their own freedom. So in the state of natural liberty, the weak were controlled and suppressed and were at the mercy of the stronger ones. So whereas in case of the natural liberty, only the rule by the stronger over the weaker, the natural liberty was synonymous with the injustice and complete anarchy. So the natural liberty itself gave the way for the anarchism, because only ruled by the powerful person, it neglects the weak class of the people. But with the emergence of the society and the state, the natural liberty curtailed and several restraints were imposed. At the early stage of the condition, before the origin of the state, natural liberty was existed, vesting the full freedom in the hands of the people to do according to their own whims and fancies. After the origin of the state, certain restrictions are casted upon the natural liberty, was curtailed and several restraints were imposed. Rousseau said, "Man is born free, and but everyone is in chain." It implies that the natural liberty of people was curtailed. As such, this liberty cannot be applicable in the civil life. So it is very difficult to apply the natural liberty in civil life. Then coming to the next liberty, that is a civil liberty. Civil or personal liberty consists of certain rights, privileges created and protected by the state. So, civil liberty created by state. This is provided to every individual in society to lead a civilized life. It is opposed to natural liberty. Then, civil liberty is enjoyed by individuals in the form of right to life, freedom of action and movement, right to property, equality before law, freedom of speech and expression, right to education. These rights are available to all the people residing in the state, including resident of foreigners. Certain limitations are imposed upon this liberty by law. So, civil liberty created and originated by the state and followed by limitations and the restriction towards exercising civil liberty. Civil liberty includes the right to freedom of movement, right to freedom of residence, right to get property, right to get equal opportunities. These all are the liberty fall under the concept of the liberty, civil liberty. Then coming to the political liberty, every person is entitled to take part in the state organization. So political liberty is available only to a citizen of a state. Whoever is member of that state alone can exercise that liberty. An individual enjoys this in his capacity as a citizen. So political liberty is exercised by the citizen as a member of the state. As a member of a state, he has the right to elect and control the government. So, by taking the part in the election, by casting vote, he can take part in the election. Where in case of controlling the government by expressing his strong opinion, he can get down the government. He is also having the right to form the government as well as to get down the government by expressing his strong opinion. This liberty is available only in a democratic state. So the political liberty is available only in a democratic form of the government, whereas in case of the dictatorial, whereas in case of the monarchy, we are having no right to take part in the state organization, because the successor will be elected by way of their own political system. So only in democratic form of the government we exercise political liberty towards selecting our representative towards the formation of the government. Citizens participates in political activities. This is done through the universal franchise right, that is known as the casting the vote, where all citizens elect their representative to form the government of their choice. Political liberty is enjoyed by people in the form of political rights. Then coming to the economic liberty means security and the opportunity to find the earning of one's daily bread. individual should be free from constant fear of unemployment, underemployment and starvation. So here economic liberty stands for providing minimum standard of living to all the people. So all the members of the state are entitled to get the necessary things from the state and all. State has to provide to all its citizens adequate means of livelihood. Implies It implies democracy in industry, that is, in the absence of the liberty, the workers has to work at the behest of others. This is secured through the economic rights like. So here economic liberty stands for providing equal employment opportunity as well as provides minimum wages to live in a good condition. Then coming to the national liberty means the political independence of state. All other kinds of liberty depends on national liberty. If a country is under the control of some foreign power, it cannot grant other liberties to its people. So when the nation is under the control of the other nation, how the state can grant any freedom? So the state can't grant because the state is not having any sovereign power. The state is under the control of the foreign rule. So for example, before 1947, people of India did not enjoy political liberty, but only after the attainment of national independence, people are truly enjoying other liberty. National liberty is the foundation of all liberties: civil liberty, political liberty, economic liberties. So this way here, the liberty occupies important place in democratic government, and only in the democratic state people enjoy complete liberty. Different kinds of liberties enable individual to lead happy and honorable life. It implies positive freedom and provision for equal opportunities to all. Then coming to the other political concept, that is the equality. So here equality is another important pillar of democracy. So in political science, the equality means every individual should be given adequate opportunities for self development. No special privileges are given to any class, caste or group. There should not be any discrimination among the people before law. Hence equality is a leveling process. So the equality means what? Here the equality means providing equitable distribution to all the people without making any kind of distinction, without making any kind of discrimination on any ground. That means equal treatment to all. That means absence of any special privilege, whether the person is the poor, whether the person is the rich, whether the person belong to any of the low caste. All are having the equal right to avail all the facilities granted by the state organization. That amounts to equality. Equality means equal treatment to all the people without making any discrimination. So this is one of the leveling process. Then equality like liberty is complex term to define. Different scholars have assigned a different meaning to it. The popular meaning of the term equality is used for identical treatment and identical rewards, that is, all men are equal and all should be entitled to identical treatment and rewards. So it means that all are entitled to get all the facilities granted by the state because all are having the equal rights. It means nature itself created all men equal. However, this is not correct because nature itself has not created all men are equally. Some are tall, strong, fair in complexion, intelligent, bright, and others are short, weak, dark. Therefore, absolute equality is not at all possible. So, this is the view casted by the critics. But social inequality existed from the time of Plato as well as Aristotle. Both are the ancient Greek political philosopher. That is, according to them, that is from the ancient time to medieval period, to the modern age, the rich and the noble class dominated the social life and the society. To remove the social inequality and the injustice, the concept of the equality was formulated. Why the concept of the equality came into existence? What is the necessity? If we go back, if we study the ancient political philosophy, whereas in case of the Greek city state, so we can trace that. So during that time, only the dominant class exercise the power over the weaker class of the people. So to remove that class distinction, the necessity, the concept of the equality was very essential. To remove the concept existed from since long time, the concept of the equality came into existence. So here, many agitations, movements, and wars were fought and led to remove the inequality in the social web of the civilization. So many revolutions occurred for the removal of the, if we go, whereas in case of the Marxism, socialism, why those are came into an existence? To remove the distinction existed between the capitalist as well as the workers. So here, so many incidents, movements, revolutions, wars were fought and led to remove the concept of the inequality in the social web of civilization. The Renaissance and Reformation movements in Europe challenged the dominance of feudal noble. The American Declaration of Independence of 1776, the French Revolution of 1789 helped the cause of equality. So responsible for originating the concept of the equality. The above moments emphasized the equality as a positive condition to provide equal opportunities to all. So this way the concept of the liberty came into an existence. Remaining we'll discuss in the next session.